Welcome to RCCA's Election Preview. I'm Tom Loucks, and today in the studio I have Terry Dolan. He's running for District 8, City of Wisconsin Rapids Alderperson, and the election takes place April 1st. No one's running against him, but we want to get to know him a bit better. So Terry, tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me, first of all, Tom. I'm Terry Dolan. I've lived in Wisconsin Rapids my whole life. I'm going to be 53 in April, actually, and have a wife, Kim. She was Pagel, and I have two boys, Philip and Eric, one in college and actually one working in the area at Foremost Farms. Aside from that, my interests are many, but I have coached over the years, many years in the area. Past president of the Wisconsin Rapids Youth Sports Association, past president of the Mid-State Community Foundation, so a lot of experience in and around the area, and basically that's why I'm running.
Well, you can maybe elaborate a little bit more, some interest in the politics area?
Yeah, actually, several things. I have several friends that work for this, in the area that I know that I've talked to over the years, and one of them being Gene, who is, getting out of the field, and I have talked over the years about doing it and just never really had the opportunity with the other things I was doing, but I felt this was the time. I really do think people should get more involved. I love this town and involved with the Community Foundation, as I said, many other things, and I just think it's time to do something.
Alrighty, yeah, Gene's been in it a long time, and opening up the seat here for somebody new here this year. So tell me a little bit about how you'd make yourself available to the public, and especially in your district, when somebody has a question or wants a change or has an idea. What's the best way to get a hold of you if you get elected into this position?
To be honest with you, if and when I do get elected, I will make my cell phone available. I am just recently on Facebook. I'm not maybe as good as some people on that stuff, but I really like the face-to-face. When I was involved in RISA back in the day, I would actually go to the parks at night and have like an open forum to talk to me and stuff, and that's the kind of stuff I like. But I even like some of the stuff the present mayor is doing with the coffee meetings and stuff, so I may think of some of that. But I can always be reached at 1520 Huntington, because that's where I'm going to live. So. Alrighty,
a telephone, pick it up too. It works
sure,
as well.
You can reach me on phone, or I'm in the book. So.
Alrighty. Well, a lot of the alderpersons now currently work with city department heads, the mayor, getting stuff done. How do you see yourself working with that team?
It's going to be a change for me a little bit because, in all honesty, when past president and stuff, you worked with people that you knew pretty well. I'm not saying I know everybody on the board real well, but I also welcome the change because whoever is mayor, there are some things happening in this town that I think are going to be very progressive and happening. And I think I just want to be involved in it. I think I'll work well with them. I'm a really good listener. And I think I have some leadership abilities that I can lend to the board even. So.
All righty. Are you happy right now with the way city government is currently conducting business here in our city?
I would say yes. I mean, I've gone to several council meetings. Obviously, I've gone to more since I've got more interested. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with. I don't want to name names, but I have friends that work for the city and work in other areas, and we have conversations. And I know there's some areas where we can improve on. I mean, but that's any small town in America, I believe.
So you see some really good points that's been happening over the years for the city. You've been here 53 years.
53, yeah. I've seen some good, obviously there's been some changes with mills closing and in the area, and obviously I work at New Page, so our mill has taken some hits as well, so there have been some changes.
What do you think the city could improve on right now? Are there any changes that you think they could do immediately?
I think it's what every small town in America wants. I say every small town, but we are a small town, and that's what appeals me to it. But I think every small town in America wants more jobs, right? But they're not all gonna come at once. And I think you have to look at bringing in some businesses that will add, whether it's 50 or 75 or whatever jobs to the workforce. Now, from my perspective, working at New Page, we're always trying to gain more business and improve that too. So. I like the town as far as they're improving the parks and stuff, a lot of biking and stuff, and I'm a biker and a kayaker, so I really like that. In fact, when I was on the foundation leadership for the Leadership Council, we we actually put in the kayak things on the river.
Okay.
So very interested in that.
That kind of leads into economic development. We see a lot of things happening regionally. There's this Reggie group that's working in the city, and all the communities around are starting to be a big part of it. The person hasn't been chosen, I don't believe, at this point here. We're taping this here about mid-March. How would you help? How do you encourage economic growth? You know, you're talking about having what you had, the kayak stuff. That's all part of it. Do you see any other areas?
I think that there's a lot of, I've seen people I've worked with leave this area because of job loss, very talented people, and I just got to believe there's some type of incubator or something we could do to keep those people here and keep them working. I'll be honest, I have relatives that have moved just to Plover because, of the corridor maybe, but I believe Wisconsin Rapids is an excellent location, and I would hopefully, as part of that, encourage even, like I said before, smaller businesses, but with good paying jobs to come here.
Right. That's what keeps the people there. And I think that leads us right into education, young kids. How do you feel our educational system is doing? You had 2 kids go through that. How do you think it went?
It's funny you asked that question because I just had this I have a good friend that I just had this conversation with. Actually, myself, and I'm going to put my wife on the spot here, I was private school educated here in town, so you can guess what school it was. My wife was public school educated. I had one son that was private school educated and one that was public school educated. I think we're all successful in our own way, and I didn't really see a difference, to be honest with you. And I had a wise person once tell me, and she'll tell me again because she'll see this, but if you wanted to be a teacher, you could have been, Terry. And I really believe that, in all honesty, they do a great job. I'm pretty happy. Now, I'm not running for school board, but
sure.
I'm pretty happy with what we got in this area.
And we have Mid-State, and we're lucky to have that program here.
I actually graduated from Mid-State, so that's why I was involved in the foundation as well. I really believe strongly, and even encouraged both my sons who went on to college. One's still in at Whitewater, but encourage them to take the 2-year program.
Do you see people coming back in the future here, hopefully, that will, if we do get those good paying jobs and maybe new business?
I'll be honest with you. I have like I said, I have a son that works in Plover, for most part, but he lives in Rapids. My other son is going to be an accountant. He's right now doing a Disney program, the college program down there. Do I see him coming back? I'm not sure, but if there are good paying jobs, I would encourage anybody. This is a nice small town. We all could have moved in our day, right? And I've stayed here. I just love the hometown atmosphere. Yeah. And I do believe people will stay if they have the jobs. And I'm not saying they got to be $20 an hour jobs necessarily, but they got to be good paying jobs.
Well, it'll be really good to see someday that the traffic on 54 might be heading towards the west rather than always heading towards the east. It's regionally is good. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Plover, Wisconsin Rapids, all those areas help each other out.
Sure.
But it's really nice to see the growth here, which will bring in more smaller business for our area and keep the young ones here.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's, when you look at the community and you think about families, of course I always put a plug in for RISA, but you got to think of all the youth sports we got here and the other things we got for them to do. I don't like to hear kids say they don't have nothing to do here because there's plenty to do in Wisconsin Rapids. You just got to get involved and get out there and do it. Yeah,
we have a great athletic areas for here. We have a lot of great athletics.
Absolutely.
And they can't go wrong. We have a Rafters team here to watch in the spring, so there's a lot of good stuff here for kids to see and do. So I just want to touch base. The mayor picks out the committees when that time comes. Do you see yourself wanting to be on a committee?
Absolutely, when I decided to run, several people told me that you don't get to pick, and I said that's okay because. Right. I have some strengths, Park and Rec, obviously. I know a lot of those people, and I've done a lot. I mean, I still remember the day of putting poles in at Robinson Park back in the day, digging holes and putting poles in when we were making the baseball fields. And I got some strengths in other areas. I was on the Mid-State Board, as I said. I was in the finance area, so basically raising, putting the money, investing it. So I've got different areas of background that I'd be interested probably in anything I was put on. So.
Well, let's help either Mary Jo Carson or Zach Verink. We don't know who's going to be elected at that time. That's who you would be working with. let's give them, what committee would you want to be on? A Park and Rec committee, or Finance, or Public Works?
Park and Rec is probably just a no-brainer just because of my experience there. But, you know, any one of them really I'd be honored to be on.
Do you feel commissions and committees, I should say, really do a good service for our community? Is it an important part?
I do. I mean, when any board I've been on, you've had those offshoots where you've had the finance, the fundraiser, you know, at Midstate, and even in RISA we had fundraising. I do believe that those committees, they can bring a lot of good and then a lot of experience, and then take that back to the board, because a committee isn't necessarily just me being the alderperson. It's also all the people I talk to in my district, and you know, bring that feedback back. Yeah, I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the work gets done. It
Absolutely.
needs to be done before council night, really.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep. So let's talk about the future. Where do you see the city of Wisconsin Rapids in the year 2020?
2020.
Yeah.
You know, in all honesty, we all joke. I mean, I joke a few times about, you know, I'm going to retire here or there. I'm seeing the city of Wisconsin Rapids as a vibrant community in 2020, one where I want to stay when I retire. You know, I'm getting closer to that when I retire, and actually one where I could become even more involved. I'm not putting out a plug for mayor here, but I mean just more involved in the community. I still think this town, you know, we have a mill. We forget that we got Renaissance. We got some other areas. And I think if we could bring in, we got Midstate, we could bring in a couple more businesses, a very vibrant town.
Alrighty. Well, that leads us into our last question. Why should voters in your district vote for you?
I think just because of the fact that, I'm not saying as one person I can make a big difference, but I will listen to my district. I'll have an open forum, and I will, you know, that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to forward Terry Dolan's agenda. I'm here to forward my district's agenda. And I think just the fact that, and it's kind of a plug to get more people involved, that I want to get involved and want to make a change and, you know, make for some good. And I think that more people should get involved.
Alrighty. Well, I want to thank you, Terry, for coming by the studio.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, appreciate it. And that's a wrap. Get out and vote April 1st. Terry Dolan's running for District 8, which is currently held by Gene Young at the present time. And there is nobody running against him, but you still need to vote. And that is on April 1st for District 8 Alderperson for the city of Wisconsin Rapids. And thanks for joining us here on RCCA's Election Preview.